Good evening and welcome to the Dynasty Gambit. It is draft day, everybody. Enough of these speculations. I'm sick and tired of all the news and speculation. It is finally upon us, draft day. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 5. I am your host, of course, Hamid Sandhu. You can find me on FFJunkie85 on Twitter and also goingfor2.com. Unfortunately, I was not available last week. My main man Jimmy here, my partner in crime, of course, covered for me very well. And we have Gearson here today as well with us. And so, Jimmy, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Dr. James Ferretti. I'm our contributor here at Going for Two for injury analysis. I'm an author. And I'm happy to be here with a fellow Raiders fan and Gearson, if we can get him started up here, and with my Bayonne brother from another mother, Hamid. So this is a special show for me, and I'm happy that it's draft day and we get to finally find out what's going on. Like you said, all the stuff that has been speculated on, conjectured about, mocked to the nth degree, and now we actually get to find out who's going where and how that affects us going forward, especially for our dynasty teams. Which is what we really care about.
And we'll get to that in a second. But just to introduce everybody to Gearson Aguirre. You can find him at Fantasy GDFS on Twitter. He is also a contributor for goingfor2.com as well. And he's also on other outlets as well that he'll be able to do.
Fantasy G-Pod is another outlet where you can find him. And now we got two of them.
We got two of them. We got twins.
Hold on. Let me get out of this one. Apparently, my mic's not working on my computer. I got to figure out the setting. But
hey, you're here, man. That's what matters. Why don't you take a second to review?
Look at that. Boom. And just like that, he's gone. You got to catch him quick. All right.
Yeah, no, right? Hey, G, introduce yourself, everybody, to real quick so we can jump right into the show.
Hey, I'm Fantasy G, DFS. I do the DFS show every Friday and Sunday with Hamid and Gladys and Jared. And yeah, man, I'm ready for the draft. Like, let's stop whatever, just started because I know you're gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Of course,
that's what I want to know, G. Are we getting a new quarterback? I mean,
are the Raiders getting Aaron Rodgers? The Raiders are one of the 3 teams that Aaron Rodgers would like to go to, along with the Broncos and Niners, for those who don't know. Those are there's no particular order. Those are the 3 teams that he would like to go and play for.
Man, I don't like. I don't know how long you've been a Raiders fan, but I've been a Raiders fan
long enough to be through some really down times. That's for sure.
Don't let the young looks fool you. He's not as young as he looks.
So like the thing is, like, I want to say I'm excited if we have rumors around that, but I also know that we drafted like shit the last 3 years. So, and we haven't really been our. I mean, we had too much high expectation for Gruden. I had high expectation for Mayock. I wasn't so high on Gruden because I knew that it was gonna be a tough transition. But I don't know, man. I'm just I'm holding hope.
Bet you Raiders fan wish you guys still had Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper to trade, right, guys?
Well, salary cap casualties. What are you gonna do? But I think G's got the right attitude. Stay hopeful and hope for something better than we've had the last few years.
So really quick to touch on this topic regarding Aaron Rodgers. Let's say, for instance, if the Packers somehow do actually trade Aaron Rodgers, we know their backup is Jordan Love. What does that do to Devontae Adams' value, in your guys' opinion, in Dynasty? In my opinion, you're not trading Devontae Adams. His value does drop a little bit with Aaron Rodgers not being there. What do you guys thought as far as Devontae Adams' value? A little bit.
His value drops a little bit.
I think so, a little bit. Yeah, you think it drops a lot?
How about a lot of bit?
Yeah, a lot. Well, if we're playing 12-team league, he'll be a wide receiver 2, in my opinion, because I don't think Jordan Love is a good quarterback. And what are they going to do? Draft Kellen Mond with their first round pick? Draft Kyle Trask? Draft like what? They're going to either have to. I mean, they're going to start Jimmy G. Oh, goodness. Yeah. I get it, but like we got to look at things like there's only 2 wide receivers in the NFL that I think are quarterback proof, and that's Julio Jones and
Julio Jones.
DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know about Devontae
So
Adams.
you really think Devontae Adams is not quarterback proof? The guy is an exceptional route runner. He can create, and he does not drop the ball a whole lot, and he creates separation as well. It's not going to be tight window that any quarterback's throwing to with Devontae Adams, and that's even with him being doubled.
Yeah, but
because I still think his upside is low wide receiver 1, high wide receiver 2, even without Aaron Rodgers there. Now, I'm not saying you can put any quarterback in there to work. I think Jimmy G, his value will be around there. I think with even Jordan Love, I think who else is Jordan Love going to throw to? There's really nobody else. Robert Tonyan, sure, he was touchdown dependent from a fantasy perspective, but outside of Devontae Adams, there's really no one else that is a elite or even a higher tier receiver. So, and that's why I think his value will still stay high wide receiver 2 with low wide receiver 1 upside.
That's fair. Maybe my position is more of an indictment on what I think about Jordan Love and his inexperience. Not so much his talent, but his inexperience. And, that's kind of the way that I look at it.
Inexperience will lead to peppering your number 1 receiver.
Well, you would think, but, defenses can scheme for that too. So, it's – well, I guess maybe we'll find out. We'll see how the rest of the night goes.
It's like what he said. I mean, the thing is, you can scheme for a wide receiver like Devontae Adams when you don't have an intelligent quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that can pick you apart with other weapons. Jordan Love is not going to be able to do that. It's going to be his second year in, unless, sure, a few quarterbacks have done it, come in their second year, third year. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers himself, but Jordan Love is no Patrick Mahomes or
of course
Aaron
not.
Rodgers.
I agree with you, but I don't think he's a bad quarterback the way you feel like he's really a bad quarterback. So,
you think he's better or worse than Jared Goff?
Oh, see, I see what you did there, Jimmy. I see what you did there. You had to put Jared Goff off, didn't you?
It's just a question.
I think he's a stronger Jared Goff. How about that?
So you think Jordan Love is better than Jared Goff right now? That's what you're saying?
Well, based on talent, yeah.
Okay.
Based on talent, strictly talent here, because we have nothing to go off with Jordan Love. By the way, we have a Facebook user. I do not see his name. Here he has a question. Should or will the NFL teams that are drafting be wary of the defensive end Phillips out of Miami's concussions?
Well, anytime you have somebody that's coming in with concussions, it's a concern. I think for the most part, guys coming in now are fresh, and it's not something where you can never have a concussion in your entire life and you just take one good shot and you could be out for weeks, months, or, multiple months. So it's not something that, really would, I think, make that much of a difference. I mean, football is people are concussion prone. That's kind of the nature of the sport. So I don't think it's going to really affect his position or how teams are looking at him.
So you wouldn't think the teams would be too concerned with his concussion?
I don't think so. Mm-hmm. And besides, today's draft day, hope springs eternal. I mean, every team loves their lineup on draft day. Every team, how we fantasy players do. Yeah, so I think everybody's looking on the sunny side of the street today. So I don't think anybody's worrying about concussions or anything like that.
Wait, who has a concussion?
Defensive end, it's Jay Phillips. I don't know I don't know the first name of that player.
Well, I guess this is a question I can ask both of you guys. One of the things that this draft is so crazy is a lot of the players have an incomplete physical because they haven't gotten back a lot of their data, I guess you could say, or their results, physicals and all that. So, and it's because, you have to get test results from doctors or whatever they do in the NFL. You probably know more, of course. But I heard that they have a lot of incomplete, so a lot of players are either going to gain value from that or lose value from that. I mean, one of them got to be Terrence Marshall, who was like locked in round 1 wide receiver, and now a lot of teams are kind of off him because of his medical stuff. So
it's funny you bring that up, G, about Terrence Marshall. I know this show we're going to be talking about a lot of these rookie players as far as their best landing spots are concerned. And to me, the fact you bring up Terrace Marshall brings me to the fact that we're going to also talk about players that are going to drop potentially in the draft. Terrace Marshall is one of the guys that I had on my list as far as one of the guys that will potentially drop in the draft because of this reason. And of course, there's more to that. The Saints lost Emmanuel Sanders, first of all, and no one seems to be talking about. Let me first say this. No one seems to be talking about the Saints needing wide receiver. They need wide receiver help too. But why is everybody mocking them not taking a wide receiver? They lost Emmanuel Sanders, who had 69 targets this last season. This outside of MT, their depth chart. Can you name both the receivers on their team outside of MT? Tre'Quan Smith, we all know. Who's the other guy? Marquez Callaway is the other guy. Come on. Oh, okay. They need wide receiver help. I expect them. It would not surprise me a bit that if they do draft wide receiver, and I think Terrace Marshall will be a great fit on this offense as a number 2. He's not. I don't think he's the type of receiver that's going to be a stud wide receiver 1 and can play that role as the X receiver for a team. But I think on the Saints, given Sean Payton, who can scheme for players, we've seen this in the past. I think Terrace Marshall dropping to the Saints will be an excellent landing spot for him from a fantasy perspective. And I think puts him in the category of wide receiver 3 potential for high wide receiver 3 with mid wide receiver 2 range, assuming this is a big assumption that Winston is the starting quarterback, not with what do you call it? With Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
So, well, they've said that they're going to have a package for both of them. Their offense is going to go. They're going to make 2 different offense for both quarterbacks. I mean, and I can see Sean Payton being a genius using Taysom. I don't really think there's going to be a starting quarterback. There's going to be, all right, if we're up, we're going to use Taysom Hill to run the ball, make Kamara and what's his name, Troutman, and all these guys just short route, and then Jameis Winston's going to be the gunslinger. If we're getting into a shootout, he's going to come in and just fling it. But, yeah, I mean, the Saints need a wide receiver for sure, but they're rumored to be trading up to draft a cornerback. So it makes sense, all the rumors I've seen, that they want to trade up to top 10, or they're very interested in Caleb, what's his name, Horn, and what's the other top tier cornerback? He's right next to him.
Surtain, yeah.
Yeah, Surtain. Is that Surtain or 13?
Whatever.
I've heard Surtain.
Patrick, if you're watching, my apologies for mispronouncing your name.
Dude, we're gonna mispronounce so many NFL names tonight that it's gonna be like if you can go through the whole.
We all know what you're talking about. We all know what you're talking about. And it's an interesting take on the Saints. Makes me think that if there's any Saints fans out there, we'd like to know what you think about them running 2 completely different packages, 2 completely different quarterbacks. But we don't want to hear about it now. Who wants to hear about it is Jeff and Ryan are doing a full one night live draft presentation. They're going live the entire first round of the draft, and they're going to give out the live feed to their broadcast. So if you're watching or you're listening at home and you're watching the draft, you can join their feed and you can go on there, ask questions, talk a little trash, yell about how you hate your team's pick. It's I'm sure people have done it. I've never seen anybody do it before. I've never been a part of it, but stick around for that. And while you're waiting for that, we'll keep you warmed up with some more draft talk.
Yeah. All right, and with that, let's jump right into exactly the draft talk. So the quarterback. So what we're going to do here, normally we take a dynasty team and we break down that roster, find your weaknesses and your strengths, and then help give you the advice about what trades you should make, what you should consider about each individual player and your team as a whole to improve, and also accounting for your draft picks. This show, we're actually going to talk about the rookies that are coming out of this class tonight, and also which spots are the best landing spots from a fantasy perspective for these players. Now, we're going to list all these players, and then we can talk about either individually or zone in on a few of these players. We're not necessarily going to talk about each individual player, but of course, if anyone in there who's listening has a question, they can of course ask that question in the chat, and we'll answer it. We do have Senra Says Kyle, my man, in the listening in and watching in. Thanks for joining, Kyle. All right, so the quarterbacks we're going to start off with, and we're going to take 5 players from each category. So the quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, of course, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones are the top 5 quarterbacks ranked currently. We all know Trevor Lawrence is going to the Jaguars. We all know this already. A lot of people have Zach Wilson pretty much inked in to go to the Jets. So with that, what do you guys take as far as the best landing spot? Now, Justin Fields is the big topic here. A lot of people think the Patriots are going to trade up to pick Justin Fields. Do we really think Justin Fields to the Patriots is the best landing spot for him? If not, where do you guys think is the best spot for Justin Fields?
Well, I got a question for you. So do you I know I have an opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Like, just as kind of casual fans, when they kind of leaked that thing about him having epilepsy and his draft stock kind of started to slide. Like, what do you guys, what was your immediate, kind of gut take on that? Are you guys concerned about that at all?
Well, it's funny. I was going to say, you should tell us that. But, however, I will.
I'm just kind of curious as to what, because I had a reaction to it, but I want to see, kind of what the non-medical, reaction was.
I actually spoke to a few buddies that actually have that exact disease, and they say it's actually should not impact them on the field or even off the field. It's very manageable, one, mentally, and then two, with the proper medication and therapy. It's actually not that big of a deal, and I hate to say that because given the disease, but speaking to people with firsthand actual unfortunate experience with this, it's actually not a concern to have, and do not be worried about that going into your rookie drafts when thinking about drafting him or not.
Yeah, I totally, that was my take as well. And the thing is, he's 22 years old, and he's been living with it his whole life. It's never been an issue until now. Now all of a sudden it matters 2 days before the draft. I think if it was going to be an issue, it would have come up by now. And the thing is, though, NFL teams are squirrely. And there was a lot of this talk about Justin Fields should be the number 3. I wonder if that was kind of, play conspiracy theorist here, if that was kind of leaked because the 49ers were going to go in another direction and they wanted to get the fan base, off their backs, basically, if they decided not to take Fields, because he seemed to be the fan consensus of who they wanted, but may not necessarily that may not be what the 49ers front office is thinking. And for the record, I don't think it is what they were thinking. So just some food for thought, but it'll be interesting to see how far he slides, and if a team like the Patriots or Chicago or somebody, if he slides far enough, is willing to trade up and get him.
Chicago's another interesting one. Not many people are talking about Chicago because they have nothing to trade up for. But, hey, G, what's your take about Justin Fields?
I think he's fine. I mean, the number one? He was actually the number 1 high school athlete, right? Over Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence was number 2, right? Or they were 1 and 2. But, I mean, he was a great athlete in high school. I mean, killed it in college, went to Georgia, got transferred to Ohio State. I mean, he dealt with it his whole life. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
People have diabetes, people have, certain things, and they just play football. I mean, if you're a football player, you're a football player. Medical can be taken care of, And, I mean, the NFL has some of the best doctors. Yeah. The NFL has some of the best doctors in the world, So, I mean, I think he's going to be fine. I think the reason he's dropping it for other reasons, and I just don't believe those reasons are actually a reason to have him drop. I don't think he has a work ethic problem. I don't think, the medical, and then, I don't know, the whole Ohio State doesn't develop good quarterback. Well, in reality, Terrell Pryor wasn't really a quarterback. He was an athletic quarterback, just a weapon. And then I never thought Cardell Jones and then other quarterbacks were all that great, but I love.
So I'm hearing a theme here, G. I'm hearing something here. Tell me if I'm right. I'm hearing that Justin Fields is your number 1 quarterback if you're drafting today. If you're doing a dynasty redraft super flex, he's your number 1. Is that what I'm? Am I hearing that wrong?
Well, it depends. If you go to the 49ers, I really would debate that if he's better than Lawrence, because
you would debate it as in he's not your number 1.
No, it would be one. I had debate with him having number 1. If he goes to the 49ers with Lawrence, I would love him there because he's set up for success with Shanahan, and he can run the ball better than Lawrence.
Gotcha.
He can't throw the ball better than him. He can run it better than him. And in the NFL, we care about points, fantasy points, in fantasy football. And if he can run it better, then cool. I'm going to go for the points, But
what if he goes to New England? What if he goes to Chicago? Down in your list?
Chicago, no. I think Chicago is where the quarterbacks are going to die. Whoever gets drafted there, I don't think they'll succeed.
The other team I do like, and I have him mocked in my mock draft too, is the Carolina Panthers.
I saw it. That was really interesting.
And that offense, I think it could be successful. I mean, I wouldn't put him over Trevor Lawrence, though, if he goes there. The only team I would probably come close to put him over Trevor Lawrence is the San Francisco 49ers, because they have Kittle, Ayuk, Debo,
Gee, here's a question about the Niners. Is that I've been seeing this a lot on the Twitter, on Twitter and Facebook, and even on ESPN and other sporting sites. A lot of people are banking not only because of the Niners, but they trust the coach, Shanahan. Is your ranking for any quarterback, or in this case, Justin Fields, going to the Niners based on more the coach or the talent? Like, if you had to give me a percentage out of 100, what percentage are you giving it? Okay, it's because of the coach, and then it's also because of the offense.
Well, I think scheme matter a lot for players. Because you look at everybody hates Adam Gase, right?
God, yes.
I don't hate him. I mean, I don't think he's a good coach, but I don't hate him. He might be a really nice guy.
Sorry, you're a nice guy. I hate him.
As a fantasy player, as this, as that, And then we look at players like Ryan Tannehill. We look at players like Devontae Parker. We look at players like, I don't know who else, Kenyon Drake. All these players, I know I'm missing one big one too. I can't figure it out.
Does Le'Veon Bell count as a big one? I don't know.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell maybe.
Yeah, so I think coaches matter a lot for your success in the NFL. Because look at Bill Belichick. Yeah, sure, he did great, but take Tom Brady away from him and he goes to a different system. Is it really that does it matter that much? We don't know. I think the scheme matters a lot.
To play devil's advocate just for 1 second, Bill and the Patriots, a lot of players opted out, and they had literally no one to. Of course, Elman was hurt, of course. But I'm just saying, they may have finished a little bit better than where they did, but they weren't a playoff team even with a healthy roster. So, just wanted to put that in there.
So this leads me to my bold pick. So the guy that we're not talking about, Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is going number 3 to the 49ers, and I think he's gonna really surprise some people.
I actually like that pick.
Okay, well, good.
I think that's extremely realistic because of Trey Lance's skill set, which is that he's actually a very good runner with the ball as well. And I think that will play great into this scheme because of Shanahan using so many different running backs. So the playbook is very adaptive to a running quarterback. Now, granted, of course, he's had Matt Ryan and Jimmy G now. Neither of them run. So, I mean, but having someone like Trey Lance,
another tool in the toolkit.
No, there you go. No tool in the toolkit. So I think that's I think I can totally see that happen. And in my opinion, Trey Lance will be my number 2 quarterback in Dynasty if he went to the Niners.
Me too. Totally agree.
Wow.
Gee, you disagree?
I don't think Trey Lance is ready for the NFL yet. I think he's the least ready quarterback out of the top 5.
Well, we're talking Dynasty, not redraft here. In Dynasty, Trey Lance will become my number 2 quarterback out of these 5 if he went to the Niners. Do you disagree with that?
So you're going to wait a year?
Well, okay. If I'm going to a rookie draft needing Trey Lance to be my QB1, there's something seriously wrong with my roster.
There you go.
You got to think about it. Okay, so you just said that, right? So you got to think about it, though. In a super flex league, you're going to spend, what, top 3 pick for Trey Lance if he goes to the 49ers?
No, I would not. No, I don't think he's a top 3 pick. I think he's I would think he's the second half of the first round pick for sure.
So
I don't think he cracks the top 6.
Hey, Jay, to answer your question, I might use a top 3 pick on him.
Okay, that's fine. You're going to wait a whole year.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm going to wait a whole year. It's a dynasty league, right? If he comes in and he needs a red shirt a year, I got to make other moves. I got to figure something out. It's like not everything. We all in Dynasty. That's the thing. We always wanted to work out now. We wanted to ascend on a plane into infinity forever. It doesn't work that way. So it's like, yeah, I'd love it if he came in and won Offensive Rookie of the Year. But if I got to wait a year and I could see what he can do on the field, yeah, I'll wait a year.
Let me finish. Okay. So if you have a 102 or 103, how good is your team?
Not very
good.
Now you're assuming the quarterback's the problem. That's like saying the Texans finished.
I'm just interested in what are you driving at? So you're asking a lot of questions, but what's the point? Bottom line.
Here's my thought on Trey Lance. I don't think he's NFL ready.
Okay.
He's very.
You mentioned that.
His read, like his awareness, is not there yet. He's a great athlete. Don't get me wrong. I think he's phenomenal as an athlete. But like to me, for the NFL, yeah, I have him as the top quarterback. Okay, I think I have. Wait, hold on. No, I have Lawrence number 1, Field number 2, Lance number 3, Wilson number 4, and Mac Jones number 5.
I actually don't like that.
I don't like Wilson. I think Wilson is going to be a bust. I think competition he faced. He had a great offensive line. He doesn't really yeah, I get it. He had a little YouTube clip that he did a freaking 60-yard bomb. Cool. Okay, let me go out there and make me a YouTube video. I bet you I could do a 40-yard bomb look good, But the thing is like I'm from Utah, I know the hype. But the thing is to me is this. I know the team they played. They played a bunch of high school teams, basically. They teams. I mean, you go out and put me on a court against, I don't know, let's say a bunch of 7th graders. I'm going to post them up, and I'm going to freaking just dominate them, But if you put me against, I don't know, a really good basketball team, college basketball team, yeah, they're going to kill me because I suck, But that's the competition he was. I just don't like him. So that's my opinion.
I feel you. I like it.
All right, so before we move on to our running backs and also the wide receivers to get to, so G, I'm gonna give you this order: Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars, Zach Wilson goes to the Jets, Justin Fields goes to Trey Lance goes to the Niners, and Justin Fields, let's just say, goes to. I don't want to say Carolina, but it's looking a lot like that right now. Let's say he goes to Carolina. Rank these 4 quarterbacks for me, both of you guys. G, you can start.
Trevor Lawrence, number 1. Justin Fields, number 2, because if he goes to Carolina, I would love that. Trey Lance, number 3. Wait, where's Mac Jones going?
I didn't include Mac Jones, but Mac Jones cares? Probably.
He's going to the CFL.
The CFL. You go to the Patriots.
Okay. Zach Wilson, number 5. No, number 4, and then Mac Jones if he goes to the Patriots. 5.
So if Wilson's your bust, and Mac Jones is a bust for you too, then.
No, I like Mac Jones. I think he's a NFL quarterback. He's not going to be great. I think he's going to be I don't know. His ceiling is, and everybody says it, Kirk Cousins. His floor. His floor is like Rex Grossman, I don't know. Even though Rex Grossman wasn't a great quarterback.
That's not a bad floor to have. That's actually not a bad floor to have. Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I mean, I like Mac Jones. I don't know why the 49ers fan. I get it. It's because you traded 3 first-round picks to go and trade for a guy that has the same body Jeff Lambert has. But, I mean... Oh, man, 3 first-round pick, and you don't know who you're picking? I call bullshit on that.
Yeah, that's an absolute lie. You know who you're taking. Hey, Doc, what about you?
They got
what G said, his order, but flip Fields and Lawrence. So Fields is my number 1, Lawrence is my number 2. What about you?
For me, it would be Lawrence followed by Lance, Fields, and then Wilson and then Mac Jones.
Interesting. Well, I guess we're all in agreement at the end. We're all in agreement.
At the end.
Wilson and Mac Jones. So
it really comes down to the two. Lance and
I don't think Mac Jones is going to be bad either. It's just having a little fun.
We need to revisit this on the next show once this trade goes down. Once this draft goes down. No, all right, guys. Before we move forward with our running backs and wide receivers, I want to bring you our sponsor, Manscaped. All right, guys, listen up. I'm gonna keep this really simple for everybody listening here. Now, Manscaped, the leaders below the waist of grooming your balls, have partnered with us, of course, very humbly, and taken the chance on us to promote their product, just like you guys take a chance with their product. For all our Dynasty fans out there, you can get an exclusive 20% off promo using the promo code GAMBIT, that's GAMBIT, all caps, on going www.manscaped.com. Again, that's the promo code of Gambit, all caps. You get 20% off. Go to manscaped.com. Try out their Lawnmower 3.0 today. Now, maybe the Packers don't draft a wide receiver, or will they? Who knows, right? But there's no doubt with the Lawnmower 3.0 that you will find your wide receiver feeling fresh and great underneath those pants. All right, guys, and with our sponsor commercial here now, we're going to go to our running backs. We have Najee Harris, Travis Etienne.
Oh, you got it. Well
got it. And Kenneth Galloway, Javonte Williams, and Trey Sermon. Fellas, so
Kenny Gainwell. So you got Etienne, and then you messed up Gainwell.
What did I say?
I don't know. It wasn't Gainwell though.
What was it? Kenneth Gainwell? Oh, okay. Well, all right, guys.
You got it.
So I know we have to get some bold predictions here. My bold prediction right off the bat here is Kenneth Gainwell. Last year, the Chiefs drafted with the 32nd overall pick, they drafted a running back. I am predicting that this year, the Bucs will address probably their only weakness outside of, I don't know, if I want to guess, secondary. I'm going to say they're going to draft Kenneth Gainwell to address their big need of pass-catching backs. Fournette now is not the answer on third downs. Neither is Ronald Jones. I'm sick and tired of hearing he's going to improve. He's been working out on the side. No, I don't care what you do. You're not getting better, Ronald Jones. They're going to draft Kenneth Gainwell to address their third down.
You're not buying into Keyshawn Vaughn's monster year coming up per Coach Arians as well? You're not buying that?
They will draft Kenneth Gainwell, and he will be the third down back and actually have a Nyheim Hines-esque type of season. That is my bold prediction for this draft. One of two, mind you. So, guys, with that being said, there's a ton of teams that have needed running back. The Steelers come to mind. Do the Dolphins come to mind? We can make an argument in a case that yes and also a no. But then also the Falcons come to mind as well. They have Mike Davis. After him, can you name the backup? I don't know the backup. I didn't know till earlier last week when I actually looked it up. So where do you think is the best landing spot? There's a multiple landing spots that are pretty good for these running backs. But would you want a running back to go to the Falcons, or do you think another team is a better spot for one of these running backs to go to be your RB1?
Man, I would really, really like to see Pittsburgh draft a running back. I know in the first round. I know that all the mocks and things, they're saying don't, draft an offensive lineman or draft something else, but I really want to see them take a running back.
But they can you can argue they can get one of these guys in the second round.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I'd rather see him lock it up. I mean, you can get offensive linemen in the second round too.
Yeah, but I guess they do need offensive lineup too. I understand that, but in my opinion at least, I think it can wait. But if I think between Najee Harris and Travis Etienne, any of those two I think they'd be great fits for the Steelers. Either of those two. I don't think Javonte Williams is. He's kind of a more bulkier first and second down back type of back.
He feels like he reminds me of like a classic Steelers running back from like the way back era.
Jerome Bettis days?
The bus, yeah. That kind of it flashes to seeing the bus when I see him run. So I could see it happening. I don't know if they're going to do it, but that's what I would like to see.
I'd like to see either Harris or Etienne. Either one of them would be great fits for that offense. Gee, what's your take on it?
I think.
All right, I think we're losing him there.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes back.
Pass the ball a lot. Like he had his worst season last. I mean, he didn't have his worst season last year, but everybody kind of said, take the dog out to the woodshed because the second half of the season he just wasn't doing it. And
he was throwing it. Oh,
it's been rumored that they want to take a running back in the first round. But my favorite running back of this year's draft is Travis Etienne. and I think the he's the 101 in a one quarterback league. He's the first running back that should be coming off. I love him. I think he has so many ways that he can be a great fantasy running back. I like Najee Harris. Don't get me wrong, but that age kind of worries me. But even though we play fantasy and dynasty, running back first contract. After that, you sell them. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know how you guys do your dynasty strategies, but I usually sell my running back after like the third or fourth year, and then try to get some value out of them before you get a drop off.
Not unreasonable. It brings me to a question though. So we kind of have this established order of and correct me if I'm wrong, but Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, they're kind of looked at as like the top three. And then it's Kenny Gainwell is in the next tier, and it's kind of perceived as a big tier. Now, he didn't play this year because he lost a few family members to COVID and he opted out. When he did play, he had over 2,000 scrimmage yards. He had 16 touchdowns, 51 catches in 2019. Why do you guys think that chasm is so big between the top three and then Kenny Gainwell? Is it recency bias? Is there something else going on? Because I don't know if I see it.
To be honest with you, with Kenneth Gainwell, I see him more of a PPR running back. I get it, but I'm not overly excited for him. He is the best wide receiver running back. I mean, best pass catching running back in the whole draft. But one running back that's on this list is Trey Sermon, and I'm starting to come around on him.
Before you come around on Trey Sermon, finish telling me why you're not coming around on Kenny Gainwell. You said he's the best pass catching running back, but you don't like him because Trey Sermon. So is it because he doesn't have a cool name like Trey Sermon?
Well, if you're drafting Kenneth Gainwell, you're gonna draft him to be a flex player. I'd rather trade back in my dynasty than rather draft a running back that's gonna be a flex player. Yeah, it has panned out before. PPR running backs that just come in and they're receiving running back and then they do great all around. But I don't see him being a 3-down back.
Well, he's not. Kenneth Gainwell is not going to be expected to be a 3-down. That's not how he's built anyway. His size also is against him. But what he's going to be drafted for and what his specialty is PPR, pass catching. It's where he's probably the best pass catcher in this running back class.
So here's what I'm curious about. Kenny Gainwell's 5'11", 207. He's a PPR back. Travis Etienne's 5'10", 205, but he's a 3-down back. So what am I missing there?
He's 215, not 205.
The fact that G knows that off the top of his head is impressive.
I don't know if he went in the sauna last night or what, but the numbers I got said 205. So maybe you got more advanced physicals than I did.
Oh no!
But okay, spawn him an extra 8 pounds. That makes the difference. Because Najee Harris is 230 and Javonte Williams is 220.
Well, you can also tell by the way they run the ball. With Kenneth Gainwell, you go and watch his tape.
His tape is all about elusiveness, his vision, his pass catching. That's all Kenneth Gainwell's been shown on tape.
He gets caught from behind by linebackers and safeties and all that. So, but I don't know. I just don't see him I see him more of a behind kind of,
Oh, good. I was just curious as to the reasoning. I mean, you definitely know your stuff, so I wanted to hear it.
All right, guys.
And I really don't want to talk about Trey Sermon because he can't catch the ball and he can't block. So let's move on.
All right, so let's rank these running backs really quick, guys. So I'm going to give you the scenario right here. Let's say Najee Harris goes to the Steelers. Travis Etienne goes to the Falcons. Kenneth Gainwell goes. Okay, realistically, he's probably not going to the Bucs, but that's my prediction. I'm sticking with it. God damn it. Kenneth Gainwell goes to the Bucs. Javonte Williams goes to the Jets, and Trey Sermon. Let's see. Trey Sermon goes to the Bills.
I like that.
Running backs.
Nice.
You said Travis Etienne to the Falcon?
Yeah, Travis Etienne is the Falcon, and Najee Harris is a Steeler.
Number one would have to be Travis Etienne. Number two, Najee Harris. Javonte Williams to the Jets. Oh my gosh.
Hey, it's possible.
Yeah, I can see that.
They need a running back.
It's Robert Saleh, and they're going to be a zone scheme offense. Yeah, number three, him. Kenneth Gainwell 4, then Trey Sermon.
Doc?
What he said, just same thing. Flip ETN and Najee Harris.
Flip ETN. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I also happen to agree. I would place Kenneth Gainwell number 3, followed by Javonte Williams and Trey Sermon. There.
Nice. That's bold. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm high on Kenneth Gainwell. I love him. I like it. All right, guys. Wide receivers. We do have a little short on time here. We have 5 minutes.
This is like the 2-minute warning. We got to do like the lightning round for wide receivers.
Oh, I can do the show all day, man. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to.
Yeah, we can't do the show all day because Jeff and Ryan are doing it for 4 hours after us. So if you're watching stay tuned to go to Going for Two live. Look for the link. You can join the show live and be a star yourself and set the internet on fire with your comments and your commentary.
Yep, I will be joining the show to bash my Giants on another bad pick probably they're going to make. So you can find me there as well, probably passionately, red-faced, pissed off, sweating my Manscaped balls off left and right. So, all right, guys, wide receivers. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Terrence Marshall, and Rashad Bateman. Now, I'm going to hold my thoughts for a moment because, I want your take on this. It's very likely Chase is going to the Bengals. I would say it's an 80% certainty he's going there. I don't think the Bengals will pass him up, given the chemistry that they had in 2019. Yeah, it was 2019 because he did opt out in 2020. Jamar Chase. Where do you now? There's a ton of teams that do need wide receivers high up in this draft. For the one team that comes to mind, the Eagles. The Chargers come to mind as well. They do need another wide receiver, believe it or not. The Dolphins do come to mind. I think they need some up there.
Detroit. Don't forget about Detroit. My boy Jared.
The Titans do. He lost Detroit does. The Saints do. Where do you think I'm very curious about Jalen Waddle specifically and Devonta Smith. Where do you think these two wide receivers end up, and what does that do to their value? All right, I think he's frozen there. Doc, you want to take a stab at that question?
He's either frozen or he's thinking really hard.
Really?
I would say I think that the Lions are going to get one of them, whichever one is there. And I really hope that the Bengals listen to Joe Burrow. And if he says, I want Jamar Chase, I hope they go get him. And the Eagles might get lucky. They might see Devonta Smith slide all the way down there. Devonta Smith, I could actually see sliding out of the top 15 in some cases, but he might be there for the Eagles at 12 if they want to take him.
Here's a question. Devonta Smith is there for the Patriots at 15. Do you think they take him?
I don't know. They're a smart team, so it would make sense for them. I mean,
they do need a receiver. Sense. I mean, they don't really have a number one receiver. I'm not counting Argyle's number one receiver. That's not a number one receiver.
It would make sense. And that's my bold pick is that Devonta Freeman is going to fall in the top 15. He's not going to get drafted in the top 15. Yeah, he's not going to get drafted in the top 15. What I say, Devonta Freeman?
Yeah.
That's for you because for the Giants. Devonta Smith is not going to be in the top 15.
I predict Devonta Smith actually gets drafted by the Giants. Now, listen, the Giants do have other pressing needs. Offensive line is one. The defense. You can literally pick any layer of that defense that needs help. But I do think that they're going to give – the Giant organization is under a lot of pressure to have Daniel Jones succeed. And so to set him up for success, they're going to give him all the weapons they can, just like Miami's doing for Tua. That's why I do think they're going to not draft an offensive lineman or defensive player in the first round and go with Devonta Smith. With that said,
I can't wait until they don't do that, and then I get to hear you rant about it for 15 minutes.
Why you gotta say that? You're already
because I want to hear you on the Going for Two live draft show that's coming up, and I want to hear you rant about it, and all you guys can rant about it too, because we got to bounce. So
we do.
Look for the link.
Yeah. So everybody, thanks for joining. I wish we could do this a little bit longer. By the way, looking out for the Eagles to draft one of these wide receivers. I'll be very shocked if they don't. But with that said, guys, have a great evening. Enjoy the draft. Nelson Aguirre. Find us on Going for Two with the link with Jeff. He's going to be on for 4 hours. You'll be able to join his show live and be a part of the show. Find us there. Enjoy the night. I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good one, everybody.
It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Enjoy draft night.